Good evening, everybody. I am back. It is actually October the 5th, 2021. It's about 9:15 p.m. at night on the West Coast time, Pacific Standard Time. Some explanations. I missed you last week. We're going to go over that. Some issues that have happened, some concerns, some directions, and some just honest talk with you. I don't really have an agenda for this video like I would in a lot of things, so I'm going to just be a little transparent, bouncing around kind of a little bit, whatnot. Bear with me. And let's get to it. First off, I want to send a hats off to our general, Credit Crusader. Amazing video that he had with Bradley Hosier. Bradley Hosier was the manager, obviously, of Elite Deletions. He did almost kind of quantify, and I really kind of gave the idea of what's happening in Atlanta with that office. The P.O. box I talked about, too. That's basically goes back to Mike Rando's mom, you know, Dr. Mike, because all his doctrines, right? Which I'll get into that too. That's another one. We'll come back. I have to laugh. It's kind of funny. Like, 40,000 hours and 4 doctorates and equivalent, whatever it may be. Such bullshit. I'm going to be real. God help me. My language might get a little loose this time. So if you're offended by anything, just comment back and say, Dave, you're over the top this time. You're kind of strong with the language. I was a Marine. What can I say? I try to follow by my Lord and Savior's position to forgive and forget and move on, but it's kind of hard with this guy, what things he's tried to do and what he's done to people that I see that are innocent. So anyways, again, I applaud Credit Crusader. Amazing interview. Brad Hosier, let's break it down. Elite Deletions, he came clean on some things. There's a lot of things he's kind of guarded on. I can only understand where that position comes from. You have to understand, if you're an employee of Mike Rando, you're going through 100 miles an hour of being hired, sign this, sign that. Oh, by the way, sign a non-disclosure agreement. That's all he does with everybody, okay? So let's break down non-disclosure agreements. NDAs, they're an agreement between two parties, right, which we all know, of certain specifications of what those clauses are, okay? When one of those are violated from either or party, it nullifies and voids out that NDA, allowing the person who holds the NDA to go after the person who violated the policy in that, like any contract, right? Couple catches here, though. When you violate the NDA, you have to go back to your attorney. The attorney usually set it up 9 times out of 10. In Mike's case, he's a cheap ass, and he likes to do things his own way, or he does it with very nefarious type characters of lawyers and counselors that are kind of like a little shady and wonky. So the NDA then gets certified and pressed and sent back for record to, or held for record by the attorney's office, or Mike Rando himself, because he probably keeps an illegal Zoom file, or someone does that for him, one of the handlers or office people, okay? But there's a big problem here with this. What did Mike always tell us on his videos? Don't ever sign anything. Remember that? Don't ever sign anything. Digital. Kind of like our contracts we have for Lambo, Maserati, non-education packets that he sold to us, right? That we didn't want education. We just wanted him to do a job and create these online letters and send off to the big three credit bureaus. Anyways, so you take the NDA, I digress, and you go back and you get it notarized. That's what solidifies an NDA. Attorneys cannot notarize their own contracts that they mitigate on. NDA is any kind of contract. Why do I know this? Because I'm going to be an attorney come February. I'm just telling you this. So for those of you working for Mike, okay, my message would be this to you, because I know you're out there listening. Okay, I see all my comments. I know who's setting up BS profiles because I have a team that does it all day long to tell me where you're at and what you're doing. Okay, we watch this because we're trying to get and track down Mike's victims. That's why I have this team. It's not for any nefarious reasons at all. Okay, especially a person out there that's following me right now called The Credit Game. Now, I believe that it's Mike Rando is who I think it is. I think Mike is actually watching, even though he's being told not to by his handlers, but he's watching these videos. And then he can do is throw up emojis of like, it's okay, and a thumbs up, because I keep calling him a scammer and who he is. However, that VPN we track down, which VPNs you're not supposed to know, right, where they go to. Well, it's not that hard to figure out when you have a good IT team. So that VPN went back to Tennessee. But the thing would be is, if you're working for Mike in his offices right now, any of the offices, whether you're part of the jewelry scam, you're part of the credit game scam, you're part of Elite Deletion scam, or any future endeavors in the sense of his education profile platform, or something he set up for like a meet and greet down in Florida, which I'll get into also, what you're doing is wrong. You know it. I go back to Brad Hosier. I go back to Lyle. Lyle, if you're out there and you're listening and you watch this video, please contact me. Again, I'll say it every time, because you're not doing yourself any service by hiding from this and not coming to talk to me or get you some sort of representation. You work for Mike. You are going to go down. The way it works in law enforcement is this. They arrest everybody around their target, and then they use their target to go after bigger fish. And trust you me, Mike has some shady business going on with very shady people. From as far as down in Puerto Rico to Las Vegas. You're like, well, how does Dave know this? Dave, how do you know this? In time, we'll expose it. Don't worry. Because I'm not trying to also impede on any investigations of more things I can't even share with you. So, if you're working for Mike, ask yourself this. At what point did you question yourself knowing it was wrong? Brad Hosier, in his interview with our general, Credit Crusader, says, I went to Mike and asked him what we're doing is legal. Is it illegal or illegal? If you have to ask the question and you're an employee at a business, walk out the door. Walk out the door. This excuse that Lyle has, I have friends, I have family, people that are still in there, people I'm trying to protect. You're protecting them by continuing to take other people's money, okay? Not much of a difference of the boiler room that Mike has going on down there in Jacksonville, Florida, is short than that of being basically a strip club, but at least that's legal, okay? Guys going to tent, they think they're going to hook up with a girl. It's never going to happen. She's going to jack you out of your rent money, your grocery money, your milk money, anything you got, under the proof and alliance that she's taking care of you, baby. That's what Mike's doing, the same premise. He's giving you something that doesn't exist. He's selling it to you, and he's doing the bait and switch on top of it. You are all a part of that if you work for Mike. You're going to be indicted. You're going to be arrested. They're going to put a charge on you, and the charge is going to be a felony. You think, oh, every felony gets dropped down. Sure it does, but it stays on your permanent record, and you got to play ball. You want to play ball? The felony sticks. You play ball, it goes to misdemeanor, and you have to testify against Mike. So for you that work for Mike, under these NDAs that you think you have, unless that NDA is notarized with your signature, a witness signature, Mike's signature, or whoever is on that LLC for that company, because Mike never puts anything under his name because he's a chicken shit, realistically, you don't have an NDA. You have the right to walk out, leave, and give your testimony. And I'm telling people, like right now what I'm doing is a video testimony. I'm a victim of Mike. I gave my testimony video 1. Get to Credit Crusader, reach him, contact him, and do what these ex-employees are doing. Because what they're giving is actually a statement. It is a witness impact statement. So they can actually attach it when you go to a deposition to talk about these things on a civil matter, or you find yourself being called by a grand jury and giving your testimony. They can take your video from the date that you gave the video, and they can't impact or impede time on that. It'd be considered as like, quote unquote, not really time served, but time served, because now you're becoming a witness against Mike Rando and all his bullshit companies, okay? Brock, all those guys, maybe even Val, God help me, it's pretty sad. You know, I don't know what any woman would have to basically be with a man that when he had wholesale trade lines, call people like the Credit Crusader, because Mike couldn't do it himself because he's a chicken shit, right? And had to tell Credit Crusader, we're doing the right thing, we're trying to get people back their money. That's how much the Credit Crusader made an impact, okay? That's how much my videos made an impact. You know, you break it down, you have the Credit Crusader as our general, he picked up the sword, he's not even a victim. He's taking a position on behalf of you out there who's the victim, okay? Or if you're considering investing in Mike and you're listening right now, you're a new listener, I welcome you. If you're a victim, I welcome you. If you're Mike Rando watching this, oh God, I welcome you. I welcome you even to go on a wonderful platform and do a live interview. Have Credit Crusader, or even whoever you want, send the questions the day of the Credit Crusader to ask me questions and ask you questions. Let's debate it out. Prove me wrong. Prove the thousands on top of thousands of people that you've screwed wrong. And I say this because I'm talking to, I can't say the name, about to, caught myself. Talked to one of your victims in New York. She was pregnant at the time, living with her mom. And her mom did not want her having the baby there, her being there. So she decided to give you exactly $3,000 for your Lambo package, just like I did, because you're still $1,500 short. Look at one of my last videos, Mike. You're still $1,500 short. I even have the other emails to upload those when Credit Crusader can get the chance to put them up, because that poor guy is just getting slammed from every direction right now trying to help us, okay? You made her a promise within 60 days. 60 days turned into 120, 120 turned into 365, 365 turned into 742. And why do I know those numbers? Because I talked to her in detail. She is a homeless mother, Mike, because what she wanted you to do is help her out with the credit so she could get an apartment. She had a job set and everything, but most jobs don't like hiring residentially and challenged employees. Nice term of saying homeless, but that's what it came down to. Mike, you made someone homeless. You're just like the stripper taking the rent money, taking the other money, but they're doing it illegal. You're not. Okay? You can't promise goods on something in your state and not provide them once you take an actual wire transfer of payment from their account to yours and then say, well, it was an education program. And they signed on it. Electronically, sure. But prove they did it, Mike. You just blew your own rule. They didn't sign anything. They initialed next to all the clauses. That means nothing in their states 9 times out of 10. You're liable, buddy. It's unbelievable to me. Better Business Bureau. Please, if you're out there, there's a little bit of information that Brad Hosier gave that's good and sounded kind of questionable. Unless you actually had like any kind of nefarious issues with Mike prior to April or May of this year, you're wasting your time. They don't care anymore about the Business Bureau. You pay to be part of it. The BBB is not a federal or state funded proxy that's overwatching consumer affairs. They don't do that. They're just there. It helps them for their business. Mike Rando, well, whoever he's hiding behind between his wife, his friends, people that have stuff in his name, his mom, his dad, and trust you me, they got a bunch of alias names too. His mom and his dad are just as bad. I can get into that down the line, more videos to come. Whatever those businesses are under, they're basically not going to pay into the Better Business Bureau coming 2022. So you can't use this as a leverage piece anymore. They're going to get out of it. They're going to back out of it and not pay to be part of it. So the complaints to BBB don't matter. What you need to do is contact your local law enforcement of the city that you live in first step. They're going to put you to the Cyber Crimes Division. Cyber Crimes Division is going to reach out to usually probably Jacksonville, Florida, where the sheriff's department's at, and get in contact with them. If that goes nowhere, what you're going to contact is your local state senator. Wow, that's extreme, right? Not really, because these people don't want to have you on their front doorstep saying why you're not going to vote for them next year if you're a taxpayer. You're a constituent, okay? You've been wronged by Mike. And trust you me when I say there's thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people that got taken advantage of by this guy and the crimes that he's committed, okay? You can take that position and then take it to your state senator, your district leader, your state senator, your capital member. You start complaining to them, okay? Then what you do on top of that, you contact Jacksonville, Florida Sheriff's Department and say you've been defrauded by Mike Rando and company and the LLCs. I think what's going to happen is I'm going to start listing those in my description, and I implore Credit Crusader, I think him and I talked about this already. I think he's going to do the same. We're going to give you step 1, step 2 through step 3, 4, 5, all the way on of how you're going to do this, okay? And the reason why I'm coming out so strong on this, and I want to make the opinion on this, if you had money taken, right, whether it's $20, $40, $4,000, and so on, you're determined to get it back, okay? This isn't street justice. I'm not advocating in any way, shape, or form to bring harm upon this man. I've said this before. You want to hurt him, take him to court. You want to hurt him, file your criminal charges. You want to hurt him and get back your money, file the restitution clause. Get it going, okay? You need at that point then to contact, after the sheriff's department, their criminal division department, then contact the state attorney, then contact the district attorney. It goes on and on and on, and we'll tell you to do it. If you lost the money, you want it back, you have every right. It's your First Amendment right to make your complaints. It's your First Amendment right and your option as a citizen in this world, this YouTube world on top of it, to go on our comments and leave your story, whatever you need to leave on there for us, because to vent. But venting is venting. Doesn't pay the bill. Okay? You're going to sit there and be upset about it. Do something about it. Take your upset, take your anger, and put it into action. And if you're not a victim of Mike and you don't like what's happening, go on his videos, dislike his videos, and report them. Trust me, do it. This is a very interesting team and dynamics, which you want to know what goes on. It's like I'm a field sergeant. I'm an information wealth. I'm tracking information. I'm getting information. I'm actually helping an investigator right now, a law enforcement investigator on Mike Rando. Not going to get into details about that. I can't. Okay? Imagine this. I've been gone for 2 weeks now. It takes me this long to upload. I don't monetize my videos, okay, any way, shape, or form. All right? I don't do that. I do this as an information source, just like Credit Crusader did. He did it as an information credit source also. So you can only imagine to say, well, wow, why did he pick up this sword? Because he saw people getting taken advantage of. It wasn't to build his clout. It wasn't to build his numbers of subscribers. He was giving a baseline information, just like I'm doing. Then you go to someone like Jim the Credit Guy. Jim the Credit Guy is almost like, if you're a Star Trek fan, okay, he's like the Spock. He's got the Vulcan death grip with these amazing letters that he has, and he's willing to give them to you to show you how to fight. He's kind of like almost going to the Oracle. He's like basically the philosopher of our team, okay? And then you go basically to Everything Credit. Amazing how he works the hours he does. That guy is so busy still taking on more people and taking on Mike's victims and working out deals with them to help them. That's how much he's going there. So help yourself out with something. Do this. Follow the steps that we're going to put out to do there. If this video posts, and I'll get into that what happened last time, if this video posts, I will get descriptions up within 24 hours of what to do, step by step, what you need to do to get this ball rolling heavily, because we need the numbers, the impactful part of it. Not one state senator wants on their website, their Twitter account, people complaining about people in their district that did something to them. We're going to find out who the district senators and seated officials are in Mike's county that he operates and lives in, and the county that he does business out of, his BS business, okay? This asshat was so nervous about what happened and definitely lost his numbers, and people are turning on between Lyle and you have basically Brad. I mean, I won't be surprised soon, within 10 months to a year, if we get Brock on here talking about this, okay? Which I welcome him, even though he's pretty much a pretty nasty dude from what I hear from people I talk to, okay? But you talked about the pregnant girl in New York. You got another victim out there. This guy's living in his car with his girlfriend. I mean, these are people that he's taking money from. This bottom feeder, what he's doing. You know, he has the clout. He has the videographer every other 2 or 3 months because they keep quitting on him because they want no part to do with his crap, or he can't pay them. So, well, he could, but who knows what he's paying them or not. Or they find out they won't be part of anything because they're scared and they're nervous because they know Mike has so many enemies. Mike puts out this video. Was it 2 weeks ago? I think it was right after my last video. It's called a B-roll. Everybody, if you're in the videographer, a B-roll. It's a secondary roll of footage they put together, they slap it together, they chop it up, and they roll it as a piece. It's a secondary to the primary of what they want to do. So Mike hires a videography company and has what's called basically a dine-in meet and greet, a happy hour. He put out a couple of his vendors' information out there to this happy hour, and there was some information they pushed to people to say on camera. I could do the same thing like I did last time in the hotel that I was at when I went by and set that up, remember? I can set up actually a meeting space, throw some freaking chips in like some Walmart bowls with some drapery covering AV guys come in, and we're shaking hands and drinking cocktails, lower shelf, not top shelf, because God knows Mike's not going to do Kettle One, right? Not for anybody else but himself. But he can do all these things and come back and say, look what I did. I had this big event, but here's where he blew it. Ask yourself this, okay? He's not Cardone. Who is Mike? He's lower level wannabe Cardone. And I say that because he doesn't have that clout. YouTube is literally trying to tell me right now, with all the requests I put in for Information Act about his subscribers, here we are a month later and they still can't get back to me. Yet, if I go to CoffeeZilla, they can verify his subscribers. They're having a problem with Mike. Are they protecting him? I can't really say that. Are they part of what he's doing? I think they kind of want to wash their hands from it because Mike pays for advertisements from them. And when he does do that, I don't know if you ever noticed this, if you go to Credit Crusader, he's attaching his advertisement to some of Credit Crusader's actual videos before the video even starts playing. Mike is trying every which way to battle. He knows we've called him out. He knows that you're the victim out there. He's banking on the idea that you'll go away, that you'll just go away. I have text messages from them directly, from him and Brock. I have emails from them, from him and Brock. I have a lot of stuff I need to share and get out there. And truth be told, I'm not videographer savvy. It's not what I do. I'm an investigator. I carry a gun. That's what I do. I'm pretty gnarly about how the things I do because the reason being is that it pays pretty well in what I do, but I want to be something better than what I just do by carrying a gun. I've been doing that my whole life, legally. Okay, that's why I want to get into law. I want to help the victims. I want to help the people. All right. I see this where it's at. It's very interesting to me that people are continuing to complain on the comment section of these 4 platforms, between all 4 of us, the 3 wise men that I mentioned and myself. But there has to be action that has to be taken. If you follow me on Instagram or become an Instagram follower or message me, be careful of what you send on Instagram, because if you send it by message, it's like a photo, it disappears. If I don't screenshot it fast enough, it's done. If you want to follow Instagram to IM me, perfectly fine. If you want to send me some documents that you have, whether you work for Mike, because I've seen people doing that too all of a sudden, they're sending me things, people that work for him, okay? Contact me by my email. I will put my email out directly to you if you physically ask for it in my comment section, okay? But take a stand. Take a stand with us. It's no joke. You know, tongue in cheek, we say Credit Crusader Army. I really, truly mean it. I truly mean it. If we don't think we're at war, we absolutely are. Look what we've got Mike to do. Mike was talking about his 45 days to 60 days. I think I joined this battle when he started saying 60 days, right? When I had my complaint, to 90 days and just stopped. Now it's the credit education piece. I'm gonna take 17 people. I'm gonna hold them accountable. I'm gonna hold them accountable, give them my time because my time is money. He's tried that. Then he tried the real estate piece. Then he's trying, as of today, start your own business piece. Folks, family, truth be told, do not give this man his money that he's trying to take from you. Do not do that. It's your hard work earned money. There's no such thing out there as a 30, 60 day, 90 day credit guarantee of being done. I was fool enough to believe it myself until I did my homework. It can't be done. It's near to impossible. You'll see some action happen at 90 days. Sometimes you won't see anything drop off at all. That's why you have everything credit out there. The guy who's working his ass off for you people out there. Seriously, invest in him if you're going to pay some money to somebody to do the work for you. He has software, real software. It's not a credit wipe. Mike had a credit wipe and he sold his elite deletions. Guys, think about this. 9 times out of 10, the greatest software are made by hackers because they recruit the hackers to do this. Mike had a crew. They built the software. They used it to help the first set of people they could help, plus the contacts he had at the big three. Those contacts at the big three are gone. The people that developed the software for him are probably gone too. You don't think that Equifax, TransUnion, Experian didn't counter that information of software through their software servers and say, hey, we got a problem. How do we counter this? Because stuff's disappearing and there's no accountability. We'll be out of business. No shit, right? So they figured it out to counter what was being sent to them. That's why I'll give you an example with mine. And you're going to see it because once Credit Crusader can put it together. I get this $1,500 refund that I talked about last time. And what had happened is 2 days later, Brock sends me a screenshot of my credit thing where it says they did this and that for Progressive Management. They didn't. I was sending letters for 2 years prior. But now I know it's them. Because why? Because it did disappear. I take it back and it bumped me to a 650. But here's the funny thing about it. I checked it 3 days ago and went back down to 590. It was a discrepant report based off challenging. Their shit is not holding against what they're challenging at these bureaus. It happened to me. It happened to Brandon Ashlock. Guys, his stuff is crap. Everything he touches is crap. As I go back to the crap piece, let's go back to the B-roll. When he was down there in Florida hosting that event, the live event, which is basically a mixer meet and greet is all it was, okay? Getting stuff on video, walking around. You don't see him talking once. You just see him talking to other people around him. That's it. Selling the bullshit dream to the ones that are there and try to claim it was a mastermind event, but it wasn't. Some people were paid to be there. But my concern is, look at the metal detectors. Who the F is Mike Rando to anybody? You need metal detectors? There's state senators that go to events that don't have metal detectors. They have bodyguards, just like you do, Mike. And I can tell you why. This guy's so worried someone's going to try to take him out for what he's done. He doesn't have a conscience. His conscience is chasing him. Hence why they needed the metal detectors. He thought someone was going to take his ass out because he gets death threats. Okay, he really does. He's so nervous that he threatens the employees every chance he gets. Not to talk about where they're at, what they're doing, none of that. They stick to the script that's still on a piece of paper. Don't violate that. And then if they get chargebacks, which they're not allowing anymore because Mike's just not paying anybody back at this point, they lose money. If you're working for Mike Rando, please contact me. I have an attorney on standby. I have one attorney on standby here in California all the way to Florida. These attorneys want to represent you for workplace harassment. They want to represent you for workplace loss of finance and also help you protect you in your state of Florida if you're working for Mike. You're better off contacting me, getting you an attorney to get you your money back if you lost it, and take a stand. Do exactly what Brad Hosier did and have the decency. Be brave and go on camera with Credit Crusader and apologize to your victims because you're all little Mike Randos until you say you're sorry. That's the God honest truth. I applaud Brad for coming forward. I also got to say it takes a man, a strong woman to admit when they're wrong as an adult. Brad did that. He apologized, he owned it, and he even gave the goods on how they do what they do. That is amazing. It's compelling in itself. Trust you me. And to my people out there that are victims, think about what Brad did. He took accountability, he took action. Action is everything. Stop complaining about what Mike did. Let's do something about it. Let's take action. Because this guy, he can't help himself. This guy is texting me, commenting on my stuff. I know we're making an impact. And the theory is, oh, David Stanley, he's the damn devil. He's causing problems. No, he's not doing that because Mike has no conscience. He believes the own Kool-Aid he's drinking. You know, think about it. Gruber said it best when he was working with Hitler. You tell a lie enough again and again and again, people start to believe it. Mike believes his own lies, and the handlers he has around him justify it by telling him, don't listen to these videos, don't watch these YouTube videos. I mean, let's think about it, everybody. If it's your money, okay, it was a time of coronavirus that hit. This snake bottom feeder piece of shit pops up and says, guess what? How do I make a dime? I know, when everybody couldn't pay their bills, I'll find a way to take the money they have left what's over. And that's what he did. He took advantage of a situation that was ugly as can be. Ugly as can be. How do you justify that? How do you justify a homeless mother on the street with her baby now? People are like, oh, but they're shelters. Sure. In New York, you know how shelters run? It's 1 in 10 days. She gets one night per 10 days, which means she gets one shower. She gets some sort of script to feed her child, and that's about it. She's homeless on the street. Well, social service should come and take the child away. Social services is packed in New York. I'll be straight with you. I contacted where it was. I sent up a GoFundMe account, and I sent her money to help out the best I could. I don't have a whole lot of money, but I sent it the best I could. And that's not really helping. What should happen is with Mike's investments where he's hiding money all over the place, because trust me, he is, his Bitcoins accounts, properties in Vegas, money he's shoving south, wherever he's putting all his money at with his family on top of that, they should give her a home. Mike should sell some of his shit and start paying people back. The biggest scam artist of all. I mean, he had the audacity to tell me the last time is, yeah, oh boy, here, that's right, two videos a day, 7 days a week. He wasn't doing that consistently. He didn't start that until Credit Crusader started exposing him more and my videos started coming out. And when he knew his competition was freaking basically everything credit. That's when he started coming out even stronger. But look at the people coming forward. If you have ex-employees willing to think that they have an NDA that sticks against them that doesn't, coming online and working with Credit Crusader to come clean, what does that tell you? I mean, what other business do you hear this about? And people are like, oh, God, he must be protected or something. We're finding that too to find out why it's not exposed yet. Why isn't local news taking this on? Well, you'd be surprised why. In time, it's going to come. Stay in this fight. Look at the Afghan war, 20 plus years. I served in it. 20 years we're at war with them. Look at the Iraq war. How long did that go on? The difference is in this situation, we are going to win. Mike is going to either be paying people out with some sort of probation with restitution, or he's going to go down for federal crimes in prison. Guaranteed. Him and his whole shebang. Everybody tied into him. Again, if you work for him, be careful. Because the way everybody sees it right now, you're Mike Randos. You're just as much as guilty as he is. You know you're doing wrong. You know it. You have to know it in that environment. If people are leaving, you can't tell me that you're not talking to people like Brad Hosier or Lyle out there. You know, and at this point with Lyle, if you hear this, you got paid off. Simple as that. It's not that you're scared. It's not that you got threatened with your NDA. It's not that you got friends still working there and you're worried about the blowback that's going to happen. You don't walk in and say, oh, I did this, but yeah, by the way, Mike gave information. I got news for you, Lyle. Brad was more brave than you were. He gave it up. You gave a restriction because you were pissed off with the way things went down because you weren't working and they let you go. You want to restore yourself? Come back on Credit Crusader's platform. Tell the whole story, Lyle, because we got your file too. And they're going to indict everybody in that boiler room. You're all going to be indicted. And they're going to take that information. Do you think law enforcement's going to play fair? They're going to give you the hardest felony stick charge they could put on you to get you to testify against this guy. And in the end, if you're lucky, you're going to get probation. Do the math. Mike, if you're listening to this, you piece of shit, horrible excuse for a father, horrible excuse for a husband, I challenge you to have the guts to stop ignoring me like you are, because I know you're seeing these videos. Come on the Credit Crusaders platform, set up a live event, or I'll tell you what, I'll fly myself down to Florida to one of your BS fucking mixers, and let's go back and forth on stage and talk about what laws you're violating and breaking. Because your 30,000 people don't show to see popping up on my comment section, but for one called The Credit Game, either who you pay to harass and troll, me, or it's you watching because you can't stand it anymore. Only from afar. The best you got is emojis? Come on, man. You're like a child, at best. Your crimes started over 10 years ago, and you learned how to perfect them by screwing people over like me and other people around me. But I got news for you. The Credit Crusader army is large. We're taking your victims and they're turning on you. We're taking your ex-employees and they're turning on you. And if you're wondering what part of gang I am, it's the biggest gang in the world. It's called those who are United States Marine Corps. It's not former Marine. It's not once a Marine. We're Marines for life. You can't imagine the enemies that you've made, Mike. They're just waiting. Someone calls them to try to track you down and bring you in. You'll be brought in. I guarantee it. So, best way to put it, am I angry? Sure I am. I cannot believe that I'm talking to a homeless woman on the street that I verified who's homeless through law enforcement, my contacts out there, who's on the street in New York with her child. You piece of shit for what you've done. Putting people in their cars and homelessness, taking money away from people that had it. They trusted you. The young, the old, the uneducated that you just decided to prey on. You get everything that you deserve coming your way, buddy. Trust you me, you do. It's coming, Mike. Wrath is coming with it. So you go out there who just started following this, listening to this, don't give him your money. Start talking, doing your own homework. Even if you don't trust me, go to the platforms, do your homework and find out. To the rest of us out there, to Mike's victims, to the Credit Crusader Army, to Everything Credit, my love to you. To Jim, the credit guy, thank you so much for education. It's compelling in every which way. I thank you. And to our general, God bless. Good night. Talk to you soon.